This is your weekend market recap for Friday, April 7th, 2023. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at XP Realty, aka The Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for April 6th, Thursday, 2023. Hopefully you're having a good week. Shortened week with Good Friday off. Happy Easter. Hopefully you enjoy a long weekend. Got a lot to talk about, so grab a coffee, get comfortable. Let's get into it. If you're newer to trading, want to get into the Discord room, looking for help, link is in description below. All I ask is that you get involved, ask questions, try to learn. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Please be willing to do a little work, asking for handouts and help. It's just kind of hard to learn that way. You have to take the initiative. This channel is built for people who are willing to put in the hard work to learn, because again, just like in anything, whether it's sports, life in general, the harder you work, the more results you potentially can have, but also too, along with experience comes great potential. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Let's get into it. A lot of stuff really hasn't changed this week. A lot of interesting things as the market plays out, chopping around. I mean, if you look at some of the weekly, monthly charts, which we will go into, things don't look that good. Cresting wave, be patient. You have the professional gaps that look like we will lead to lower in time. But as we know, earnings starts next week. Big bank earnings next Friday. We'll see what happens here. We shall see. If you're following, please check out Twitter. Please check out the Twitter, posting tons of things that I think are interesting, trying to keep people informed of the things, again, that I think that matter. Because sorry about that. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and sometimes Twitter is the best place to get some of the information posted by people I follow, trust, recommend. So if you're newer to trading, again, want to learn the Back to Basics series on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because we do plenty of live chats. Might even do this one this weekend. Just keep an eye on it. If you're newer to trading and the website, channel, whatever, check out www.thetradingagent.com, www.thetradingagent.com. Again, we have the daily market reviews, Back to Basics, real estate stuff, the homepage. Here's a Back to Basics. It's easy from start to finish, from more beginner to advanced. And if you're at the bottom, want to join the newsletter, again, the newsletter, I'll probably send out something once a week at the bottom of the website. It's a little easier to see on a desktop than on the phone. On that note, let's get into it. Fed Fund futures. Let's hit the refresh button. At this point, still been 50-50. Rate hike, pause. Rate hike, pause. Bitcoin, chopping at range highs. Just go with patience. Down, it's going lower. Up, it's going higher. Oil holding up, pesky. We talked about this. OPEC doesn't cut big unless they think something big is coming, meaning they think a recession's coming again. There's supposedly a huge glut in Europe and Asia of diesel fuel. We'll see. Again, I personally like to just trade the technicals, know about what's going on, and then just see if they follow up, because at times they don't. We talked about it rising. Someone knew something. Now buy the rumor, sell the news. We'll see. If the economy slows down, oil will potentially come right back into the 60s. Now, how low will it go? That's the question. The Feds really need to kill oil. They need to kill oil. They want to push gold down. They want to push materials down, because again, that's how you get money to flow into what? Treasuries. They need people to buy treasuries, especially if you want to fund the fiscal government, because right now the interest rates are just, the United States, like most places, there's not being very fiscally responsible. Nat gas every day. We at the bottom, we at the bottom, we at the bottom. Chop, 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 chop. Let's get into it. The dollar. Talked about this yesterday. What? We're hit major support line. It was a resistance for a while. Chopping. Watch this mid 27 area. Again, if you zoom out, you can see potentially higher lows here, higher highs. Now, me personally think the dollar's not done. If you watched what was going on over the last couple of days, supposedly the dollar's end. The dollar's done. That's what everyone's parroting, and it seems to be holding up. TLT, we talked about, if the market starts to weaken, fund flows will come into what? Bonds. That's what the Feds want, right? Like, they can raise interest rates, and this phenomenon, again, someone was asking about this, I can't remember who it was, but they raise rates and then bonds yields go down. Why? What's happening? Well, think about why. Right? If the impending recession, the interbank lending rate doesn't matter what the Fed's, interest rate is. It's bonds are starting to get bought because they're anticipating slowing down. Keep an eye on it. VIX, holy crapola, another test of the 18 level. Basing to do what? In my opinion, launch. If you've not I'll do this rant I guess I should do it every once in a while. If you think the market's bottom with a VIX in the 38 level, you are mistaken. Never seen a bear market in my life bottom with a VIX in the 38 level. And this is going to be an extreme bear market, in my opinion. SPY rally today. Not surprised. Little doji chop action. Getting to the weekly. What do you see? Looks like Dogecoin, whatever. Doji. Is this going to be a left-right combo? 3 weeks up. Ready to roll. Again, if you're looking at the monthly, looking at the 20-month rolling down, looks, again, I'd be watching this area. To me, it looks like a lower high, chopping around, head and shoulders top, whatever you want to call it. Again, do not think the market has bottomed. Q. Same thing, hitting the 20-month. You can look at it for yourself. Pro gap, chop, makes a new low, closes at yesterday's high. Yeah, if you look at the weekly, again, another doji. Don't need to try to make this quick and painless. IWM, we talked about this lagging. Look at this son of a biscuit. Look at this. Look at what happened on Tuesday. It tries to break out and then pow. Under the 20-day. It looks like it's lagging. DIA, lagging as well, in my opinion. Right? Pops up, holding up. Again, while the Qs and the SPY are up here. Lagadocious. If you look at it on the weekly, monthly, you're at major moving averages as well. Gold. Told you be careful here. Said this could be a fake out, breakout. Well, again, I want to buy gold when it pulls back. I will never chase, just like I don't chase stocks are a little different, but I love gold. Trust me. Long term, love it. Cup and handle, head and shoulders bottom monthly, get it. Got it. Feds, CME, again, they're probably going to raise the margin requirements on gold. They're going to try to knock this crap down. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just think that they will throw the baby out of the bathwater. Nothing will be safe when they start trying to pull the rug out from the market and get money into what? They want to get treasuries bought. Silver, back at some important levels here, making a slightly higher high, but if you zoom out, just filling some gaps, back at resistance. Silver has lagged the whole way. Miners, holding up into resistance spots. If you, again, zoom out, see we're at some interesting areas, making higher highs. These candles have a little bit of concern to me, because if you high volume at the highs and then indecision, high and tight's good if you're bullish. If it starts to turn over, I'm telling you, raise your stops. Don't give it back. GDXJ, same thing. Don't give it back. Zoom out. Go look at the monthly. You're just back at some moving averages that I think, moved it to the wrong screen. If you don't know what happens, like COVID, I mean, you can't really see it here because this came out after, but miners can get absolutely smashed. Because again, if it's a liquidity issue, the market's selling, we talked about this, hedge fund redemptions, liquidations, pension funds, and they start selling, everything gets thrown out. That's what it is. And then that's the thing, we pick up what we want, and miners will probably be one of the things we pick up. AG, love how they cut off producing silver because price is too low. Again, when you zoom out in the monthly, there's trend lines that might come into in the fives, but keep an eye on it. AEM holding up pretty well, getting back up and trying to, it's filled the gap. It looks better then, but keep in mind it's coming into the 200 week shortly. Let me see if I can pull that down. Again, I have tons of screens here. I'd watch what happens when it gets up here. Just keep an eyes on it. Keep your eyes and ears open, right? PAAS, Newmont chopping, right? Nothing really too much to say. Newmont filling the gap, chopping at resistance. PAAS chopping at resistance, as we said. Looks a little better, but 2-day range. Keep an eye on it. AM Dizzle. Telling you semiconductors are toast. Below the 20-day. Oh, it's a green day. Okay, well, there's the professional gap. Here's like the confirmation gap below the 20-day. Again, if you go zoom out, you're at the 20-month, you're at the 100-week. Please look at the monthly, weekly candles periodically. Taiwan semi, again, done. Toast. Below the 20-day. Look out, zoom out. If you go look at the monthly, here you go. I'll do one. Wish that was easier to do this, but here you go. 20-month, remember, pulling back. Again, it's just, in my opinion, matter of time. Time, my friend. Micron popped today on XDiv, right? XDiv today, yeah. Popped up to the 50-day. I think some folks shorted it. I get rid of that wick. What was the high? 59.15. Yeah, close enough. 50-day. I like it. Again, we talked about professional gap, but now it has a little oversold bounce. 50-day. You saw this. I mean, it's pretty normal. I don't get why people just don't zoom out. NVIDIA holding up. The most expensive stock out there that everyone's all in on. Professional gap, 2-day range now. Just watch it. Keep an eye on it. Intel, we talked about hitting the upper trend line bound. Keep an eye on it, right? SMH, lagging. Semiconductors are finally lagging. Look at this. Professional gap below the 20-day. Remember, the Qs are chopping near the highs. Semis are leading. They lead up. They led down. Adobe. Software names acting a little weaker. Well, we'll see. Double but top. Apple. Telling you guys, left-right combo potential on the weekly. You got the doji on the weekly. I don't need to show you. You can look it up yourself. Novice gap down, holding, or professional gap, in my opinion. We'll see. 2-day range. Watch it. Amazon. We've said this is dead money up in the 100 levels, chopping around. Just leave it alone. CRM, we talked about the 200 area, and really, really, really important on the monthly. Starting to roll over. Guggenheim, holding up pretty good. Again, they're AIO. We'll see here. I mean, I like the idea that some people think this is like got to take off now, and I understand it, but when you zoom out, man, there's just so much resistance to the left. I doubt we have much follow through. Again, there's a little pump at the end of the day. Same thing with Meta, Microsoft. Again, these things are all like, you're going to zoom out. They're just coming into areas, in my mind, holding up before something. Microsoft, same kind of thing, popping up, getting into the upper range bounds. We'll see what happens. NDAQ, we talked about this thing being a piece of junk. Nobody's going to be trading NASDAQ stocks at some point. This index is just, I guess it's not, it's more like an exchange. It's dead money. I mean, you can see it. It's not coming back. But whatever. MicroStrategy chopping around with Bitcoin, right? Pretty typical, pretty logical. Pretty typical, pretty logical. Here you go. Chopping around. Netflix, lagging all day. Hit our resistance and what? Backside of the trend line. Looks like it might be starting to peel over. Roblox holding up here, up in the 46, 47 area. That's pretty crucial for this thing, honestly. Like, keep an eye on it. You know, we've talked about liking the stock at lower prices, but popping, okay. I mean, I don't necessarily trust it, but I could be wrong here. Tesla, God, everybody got so bullish it, and now look what happens. Now it's a green day. People are like, oh, it's going higher. I'm like, is it just oversold? Again, zoom out. You can see on the weekly, monthly, like this area is like pretty dang important. We're making lower highs. And if is this an M top? And not M for max, or I guess max pain potentially, right? Commodities, we've talked about them lagging. Some of them, like, look at it. This looks bad. Global growth, U.S. Steel should be rocking and rolling. Nucor, same thing. Rocking and rolling, flopped, popped, chopping at the lows. Caterpillar, this thing has been absolute dog crap. Making new lows. Something's wrong here, y'all. Something's wrong here. Breaking the 200-day. Red alert. Red alert. VALE. Again, another name that's global growth accelerating. Should be popping. Nope. Chopping. Arrow. Now, copper, this name has been holding up. 20 days key. Potentially a double top. Keep an eye on it. CCJ. We talked about this one hitting, what was it? This range here. And burnt at major moving averages. Okay. Does it chop a little bit? That would make sense. Ag names. People keep talking about buying. I'm like, they don't look right. I wouldn't trust them. 20 days acting as resistance for CF. Mosaic. I think they got a downgrade today, maybe. Whatever. That gap's not looking good. But again, keep in mind, if you're looking at these names for the long term, let them come in. You've got some support lower down. Trust me. You've got some support lower down. Don't be surprised by that. NTR. I think someone was talking about buying this today on the Discord room. I'm like, it's literally gapping below support. I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea. Whatever. AA, again, aluminum, all this stuff. Something just doesn't look right. Right? Just lagging. Better, man, holding on. XLF, we talked about bouncing in the 32s. All right, 20-day now. Again, could it get over it temporarily? We've seen this, right? Like, zoom out. Like, the 20-day matters, but you've seen it climb over it, even in downtrends temporarily. We'll see. Again, the 20-day is important, but it's this 32 level. You can see it's like where all these gaps and wicks are. So just keep an eye on it, right? Because the banks are struggling. I'm telling you guys, people are taking more and more money out. People keep hearing about this Fed now, like, if the Feds try to create a crypto and track everybody's money, oh my God. I'm telling you, there's people making, again, whether you agree or not, that's fine. But people are pulling money. JP Morgan's anything 20-day, just chopping, holding on. Morgan Stanley, chopping, holding on. Goldman Sachs, chopping, holding up, I think, a little better, in my opinion. above the 20-day, holding on. All right, XBI, talked about this thing, should be up in like the 80s, 90s. No, it's chopping around. It's near the lows again. Tech up at the highs. And again, if you zoom out, you're way off the 170, 180 level. It's almost 100 points off, and it's still just chopping around. I tried FedEx yesterday, and I forgot to run something on it. Remember, they had they upped their dividend, and what else did they do? Maybe their buyback or something. But I'm like, watch this action. Watch this action. Big area up here. 2-day range. It gaps up. It sold yesterday. And again, sold today. If you go look at, just any of the action, you're just like this doesn't look good. Not good news, and it's looking distributive. Again, I usually don't talk about it, but just figured it'd be worth it. Let's get into Solar. Typically, as it's the next part of the video. Not looking good. Hits the resistance zone, flopping. If it fails here at the 72s, 69 coming next. ENPH, talked about this being a piece of crap. People love it. Still continues to hold. Chop down. We talked about it dying at the highs. Yep. Sedge, chopping. Chopperton. You can kind of see a little trend line here. Potentially, if you want, you can draw it. Oops. Just something like that. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. First Solar, talked about this getting below the 20-day. Holding an old trend line. Talked about that yesterday. Held it again today. All right. It looks like an M top. Be careful, right? Oil. As we said, this is the problem with oil. The feds are screwed if oil is rising. The feds are absolutely screwed if oil is rising. And now what? Keep an eye on it. Remember, we got to fill the SPR. There is a put under this, and essentially, there's a bottom. I don't think we can go below a certain price. UNG, I've talked about this. Please leave it the hell alone. XOP, somebody on the Discord saying, I'm long oil and gas. I'm like, man, be careful. Pop, chop, zoom out. Again, throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're back testing the trend line. I know was it Sam's I'm long XLE? Well, here's the XOP. I don't like it. Back testing the trend line and failing. We'll see if high and tight is good, but if it doesn't hold, you better fold. Here's it. And keep an eye on this, right? We talk about ExxonMobil all the time being the leader. Got back up to the monthly trend line here. This yellow one, watch it. Multi-day range. It's high and tight. Could be bullish. If it fails, it's bearish. It's that simple. Occidental popped up. It doesn't look good. Doji sandwich and made a lower low. Yikes. PX Dizzle pops up. Gets over the 50-day. Just holding it as it descends. kind of eerie. EQT. Talked about oil and gas names chopping. Don't really have much. Let's end it on Flex LNG. Again, nice little bounce today on it. Holding the 200-day. Decent volume. Something's up. Rally this morning. Probably some sort of upgrade or something going on. Either way, be thoughtful. Be careful. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Check out the Trading Agent website, www.thetradingagent.com. I think there's some great resources over there. If you want to join the Discord room, link is in the description below. Again, when the student is ready to teach your peers, you got to be willing to do the work in trading, because trading is, again, day traders are trying to get lucky rolling dice. Swing traders are trying to play the bigger trend. And within both categories of trading, you have the understanding that it's a probability-based game. The more you trade, less likely you'll be right. The more likely you'll be right, the more patient you are once you identify levels on weekly, monthly, daily charts. It's really that simple. But again, it's all probability-based. The more you trade, less like you are going to win. But you have to be careful. We talk about this all the time, is you have to sometimes trade around your positions at the highs or at the lows, because like anything, chop. It doesn't have to go down immediately. Or take, again, if you're, say, for example, you're buying puts or calls, give yourself 3 months. I know that sounds terrible, but that's the reality here. Have a hard stop. Give yourself time. But as I've always said, whatever your trading account, 90% trading stock, the rest 10% trading options, because at some point you will blow out an options account. That simple. All right, keep an eye on semis are lagging. Financials are chopping around. IWM's definitely lagging. VIX is bottoming. A lot of things looking like we might get some potential pullback next week. Is it the start rolling over? I think it probably is, but either way, what do you have to do? You have to be humble. Could you be wrong? Can I be wrong? Yes. Remember, we're spot on entries 30% of the time. 60% of the time, we're about even. And then the 10, 15% of the time, we're just flat out wrong. And if you can't handle being wrong, then you shouldn't be trading. It's the same thing as like anything in life. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to be humble. You have to be willing to pivot mentally. And when I say pivot mentally, admit wrong, move on from stocks that aren't working. Just do things that you have to do. So I will talk to you guys and gals later. Have a great holiday weekend. Get some rest. read some books, study some charts. We'll talk soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.